Texas Podcast Massacre contains spoilers and adult language. For more horror, visit us at our website at texaspodcastmassacre.com.
I know you like clowns, so I made you this bed. Now you can laugh yourself to sleep.
If you should die before you wake.
Can't sleep. Clown will eat me. Can't sleep. Clown will eat me.
This is Texas Podcast Massacre.
We all float down here. Welcome to a very special 15th episode of Texas Podcast Massacre, coming to you from Houston, Texas. I'm your host, Mitch, and with me as always are the ones that I would join a blood pact with. Lisa.
Too many good quotes this time to choose from.
There's too many good quotes.
Too many.
Okay.
And Nate.
Better than being inside your mom.
Solid. So each week on Texas Podcast Massacre, we take a look at a different horror movie. We discuss some news and we debate some horror-related topic with our unsuspecting victims. Now, because of Hurricane Harvey, we had to miss a week, and so we thought what better way to make it up to everyone is to drop a special surprise podcast episode for the release of It. But first, let me introduce our two unsuspecting victims. This is number 3-time club, David Fajardo.
Idaho's own.
Idaho's proud.
Idaho's native son.
My cousins are like actively looking for you now.
Oh yeah, I bet they have your picture on the water tower. Just if you see this man,
they may not know what pictures are.
I mean, they have old timey photos. They just don't have the internet, so it's fine.
They still etch them in rock.
Tin prints, yeah.
Actually, they etch them in corn.
Okay.
That's the wrong state. Potatoes.
Rapeseed. We actually saw a lot of rapeseed fields in Idaho. They're a thing. It's something.
Oh yeah, no, it's a plant. Yeah,
it's a plant. It's a crop. Rapeseed. Look it up.
It's a roofie plant. Is that?
No. It's something like weed. It has a rapey name. It's rapeseed, but it has nothing to do with rape. Just sounds fun.
What I love is that we get negative downloads every time you're on, particularly from Idaho. I don't know how that happens.
Computers in Idaho.
Yeah, well, they all are not downloading these episodes.
It's a concerted effort.
And for the first time, Miss Liz, welcome to the podcast. So before we get started, just first, we've already heard your rapeseed story. Anything else new going on with you, David?
Or is it just the rapeseed?
Or is it just the rapeseed?
That's the only thing.
Is that kind of the highlight of the...
That's all I got. I mean, we survived Harvey, so I'm mostly counting my blessings here. Obviously, the rest of the city didn't. So that's still terrifying that all went down. But we got lucky, and haven't been victims of a flood. 2 years ago. We're counting our blessings here, but yeah, that was terrifying.
Our old flood was like a bitch flood by comparison, though.
Oh yeah, we got like 2 inches of water last time. This time, the whole town is 6 feet underwater. It was terrifying. And I have to say, our old house right now is Waterworld. I don't think it exists anymore.
It's a really bad house, like the movie. That's it. It's just bad.
Yeah, probably.
Oh,
I mean, I wouldn't go there now.
Oh, you mean underwater?
It was a lovely house, actually.
It was a lovely house, but now it's no more.
Was is the operative word.
Yeah.
Well, so Liz, let me ask you, I think as we've talked to David in the past, he's mentioned that you're actually more of the horror movie fan than I think he is. Is that accurate?
Well, I'm not foreign, so...
That helps.
That was the reverse foreign card.
I'm not foreign.
Did you see that? That was like the flip of...
She's trying to balance you out. That's
yes, no, I like horror movies more, but I think... we haven't watched a lot lately except for during the hurricane. So I think like the most modern ones I'm not as into. I like old ridiculous shit like 70s horror.
Gotcha. What's your favorite horror movie?
Well, my favorite horror movie is the original Night of the Living Dead.
Oh, awesome. Yeah,
which
right
is
there
amazing.
She made me watch that one. So which one's that one?
The black and white racist one.
Oh, yeah, that was good. That was good.
It's not racist. I mean, the black guy is the crushes.
Well,
it's anti-racist.
It's a commentary on racism.
Yeah. And then I like terrible horror movies. So again, I think we've talked about how my favorite is Thanksgiving.
Big Tourist Trap fan.
So yeah, I was gonna say
Not that terrible, actually. That's unbearably bad. No.
Okay, Thanksgiving is bad.
It is it's
Amazing.
a million times worse than Tourist Trap as an actual movie.
Oh no, go fuck yourself. Tourist Trap isn't even entertaining.
all right, we're not.
Wait, what? Sorry, what? No,
We're
no.
not gonna.
There's one other one that my lovely wife here loves, which is Terror Tunes.
It's no one ever has watched it but Laura and I, and it's awful.
There's another person that
Is it
watched
Lizzie
it
Borden
who's
with it?
fucking
No,
me
who was
because you
in
made
it?
me
There
watch it, and that movie's awful.
Terror Tunes?
Terror Tunes.
It's like a Tiny Toons
I
spinoff?
don't even know what it is. Look it up in your free time. Watch it. It's horrendous.
Don't
it will
judge
make
me.
you question your belief in humanity. It's just bad.
So, yeah.
Nate is already putting it in the
hold on.
phone.
Terror Tunes?
Terror Tunes. Possible future episode.
I mean, you really hope someone inoculated the internet against that movie and just eliminated it from everywhere.
We got that at
Wait,
Blockbuster.
Terror Tunes?
Yeah.
How do you spell tunes?
The way you spell tunes.
Is it Tunes TUNES or TOONES?
It is
Double
TOO.
O,
Okay.
yeah.
Ooh, it's a nice 2.9 on IMDb. So probably skipping.
solid. That's meaty.
Probably skipping.
It's still better than Tourist Trap, though.
Mind you, that's getting balanced
Is
out by
it?
like 10s from Liz
it?
and her friend Laura. It's probably closer to 1.1.
Wow. Anyway.
Well, awesome. Well, thank you both for joining us. Before we get into the movie, we're gonna jump straight into our debate question for this film.
We will see how the Lord favors you.
No, you dare not, you blaspheme! He will punish you. The jaws of hell will devour you. All of you! No!
So the debate question for this week that I wanted to ask you is scariest Stephen King character from any of his movies, whether he's actually directed it or it's been an adaptation.
Can we do books?
Yes.
Yes.
Stephen King character, book, movie, shitty TV show like Storm of the Century, whatever. whatever you
Shitty?
prefer.
What? Or best?
Well, well, let's start on this side of the table. Lisa.
So I guess I have recency bias, but this Pennywise was terrifying. I honestly think because I've seen
2017 Pennywise.
Yeah. Well, because I haven't seen the original.
Okay.
I know, and now that I've seen this, I want to go back and watch that. But
That's gonna be a letdown.
probably right?
It is. But
Yeah.
Tim Curry is amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've
But
heard
the
he's
special effects
amazing.
are like,
But so Pennywise was just terrifying.
All right, solid. Nate.
I'm gonna go Annie Wilkes from Misery.
Misery, solid. Solid choice.
That is
It's
a good
because it's
choice.
probably
That's a
the
good
most
one.
realistic
It
of all
is.
of the ones. It's a person, no powers, no nothing, but very hobbly
Yep.
and hobbling of people, and that's
That's a
creepy
good
as
one.
shit.
I'm jealous now.
That scene is like one of the most disturbing scenes.
I almost wore my Misery shirt to the movie tonight.
I thought you were gonna say I almost put on my Kathy Bates mask or something. Like, oh shit.
Well, that's implied with the Misery.
Oh,
shirt.
okay.
Yeah,
I wasn't sure. Like, oh, wow.
Yeah.
Just carry a little sledgehammer around. No worries.
Halloween costume idea, perhaps. I'll walk around with a
If you
typewriter.
win as Kathy Bates from Misery, I would.
It's that, or I
freak out.
walk around in like one of those like stand-up bed type things, and with a typyper, and then
Yeah.
at least it could be.
No, I'll just lay down the whole night.
It's
and
really fun.
Yeah, you just lay
Your
down.
wife, yeah.
Lisa's like, this is
Lena
awesome.
just carries a sledgehammer around. That'd be
Yeah,
fine.
all right.
Fine. Let's see, Liz.
So I think this is a hard question only because you never know what Stephen King has made. Like all of a sudden you're
also
like,
true.
Someone needs to pull the entire list of
Like,
movies he's made.
oh,
and-
that was a fucking Stephen King movie.
Well, you just guess one, and I'll tell you.
But I have to agree with Lisa. Actually, I clowns
come
are fucking
on,
creepy,
come
and
on.
both the actors that have played Pennywise are amazing. And he's disgusting.
There's too much agreeing happening in this debate.
No,
here.
he
I
was
don't like it, and I
terrifying.
Don't worry.
don't like it.
I'm gonna go full fucking hipster contrarian, like I'm too cool for movies. The Men in Black from the Dark Tower series, although it is a movie now.
It's going to
But
be.
It's a really shitty movie at that.
Yeah, it's a shitty
But
movie.
Matthew McConaughey's in it, isn't he?
And they made Matthew
is the
McConaughey the Man in Black, but it doesn't really do it justice.
Matthew McConaughey is supposed to be like scary in some sort of way.
Yeah, and it is, you can't do that.
Is it like Lincoln commercial Matthew McConaughey?
Yeah,
like he's not good Matthew McConaughey.
Exactly. So, but the original.
All right. Your world's gonna end. It's gonna. We're gonna take this world right down.
It was like when
Cue bongo solo, and then he just goes.
naked Bongo Solo.
That was implied.
Well, it's like when what's the name of the dude they made Lex Luthor in the last
Jesse
Batman?
Eisenberg.
Yeah, when they made that dude Lex Luthor, it was like this doesn't fit any level of reality with badass. Like it's.
I don't know that Lex Luthor was ever really a badass.
Gene Hackman. Gene Hackman was not a badass.
But
and he wouldn't shave his head.
Gene Hackman would beat the living shit out of Jesse Eisenberg.
Well, yeah,
I would beat
Jesse
the
Eisenberg
shit
with
out of
Asperger's
him,
or whatever.
It doesn't like anyone would.
It was
Anywho, the Men in Black and the Dark Tower series, it's over 7 books that he's just like torturing all of the characters that you grow to love. It's this very confusing figure that never makes any sense. Like you never really get a full explanation of what it really is. And I think that's what makes it, to me, the best of the evil characters in the whole Stephen King.
So give me like a 2-sentence explanation of what this thing is.
I'm not gonna listen because I want to read this.
There's no way to give it a sentence explanation because
like what is the bad things that are occurring because of this character?
Like everything. So like he's really going through dimensions, actually murdering people to prove a point.
First he's here, man. Then he goes there.
Yeah.
And then he's all around. But he's right here in front of you.
Just
but
like
then
these,
he's in the past.
just like these bongos. Right? Got it.
So maybe Matthew McConaughey was the right version.
Does he drive a Lincoln through these interdimensional portals?
That's
he does not.
That's what I love about alternate realities, man. I get older, they stay the same. All right, all right, all right.
I keep killing them, and over here they stay the same age.
Well, you've already mentioned one redhead and Pennywise that y'all picked. For me,
one redhead.
Fucking Malachi is the
I was gonna go Isaac almost.
I was gonna go Isaac. Malachi's the best.
Malachi is at best a good henchman.
That's
what the fuck's Malachi?
Children of the Corn.
He's at best.
See, I didn't know that was Stephen King.
Wait, that's Stephen King?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Jesus fucking Christ.
He's at best like a top level henchman.
And I'll
He's
guarantee you,
not
because of this
villain level.
movie, everything is going to be Stephen King. It's all coming. It's all.
they're reviving all of it, I'm sure.
Oh no, everything. His son's got TV shows coming out.
Mm-hmm.
Well, mind you, even when you're not paying attention, Stephen King's still like writing books that turn into movies. Didn't he actually write under a couple of different pen names just so like people wouldn't figure
Doesn't
out?
he
that
own
it
a
was him?
corgi?
He does. He owns a corgi whose name is Molly, and he nicknamed his dog Molly, the Destroyer of Things.
And we're on Dog Talk.
It is the cutest fucking dog. Just total aside.
And
total Twitter follow.
Is this a good news article? Is this a woof woof? At TX Pod Massacre. Let us know.
I assume then y'all are both very aware of the site doesthedogdie.com.
No.
For movies.
It lets you know if a dog dies.
So
in the
I am.
film before
she
you
will
watch it.
not let me watch the fucking what's the Keanu Reeves movie with
John
Beagle?
Wick.
John Wick.
Oh, it's awful.
It's supposed to be amazing, and she will not watch it because the beetle dies.
Don't watch the first 10 minutes.
I
That's
know
what
that
I
beagle
told her. She
dies.
was like,
Don't
"No,
watch it.
I know that dude's avenging a dead beagle, and I will not watch it."
So it's bad.
You shouldn't watch Cannibal Holocaust then, because that's.
I watch Cannibal Holocaust
Because they actually kill real animals in that movie. Like they literally killed the animals.
I think like the worst part of this movie tonight was that he almost killed a cat.
Yeah. She was having a panic attack about it.
Not the children dying.
Also, hold on.
Wait,
no,
so you didn't? What about the lambs?
Yeah, that was
The sheep.
They're actually meant for that.
Whoa!
Hot take.
The
Hot
truth
take.
comes out.
The vegan crowd
you
just
know,
blew their shit.
Depending on their geographical location.
Those 6 people in the Venn diagram of
dogs
Idaho and vegan are real pissed right now. Like that's a problem.
Your Portland demographic just pieced out of this podcast.
Idaho just kind of supported that statement.
That's probably true. They kill everything.
But they would have killed the cat.
So
too.
winner, misery.
I don't
Yeah, no, I agree. Winner's definitely misery.
Yeah.
Because I agree. It's the most real option of all of these.
No. Gray Water in Shawshank Redemption is the most real.
Oh, you
okay?
didn't say that. You said Pennywise.
I know.
Oh, well,
but I'm
too late.
thinking about it.
It's
Crawling
too
through
late.
the sewer. It's bad.
No, I still agree with misery. There's plenty of crazy fucking bitches in this world who will break your ankles with sledgehammers.
I would fucking kill this motherfucker.
FYI, most of them live in Idaho. So watch out.
I was gonna say he gets threatened with castration regularly.
Can we do our next? Whenever you go to Idaho, I want to go on location and do.
We have like
we are never going to Idaho.
We have like stealth under the table payments from like the Wyoming Tourism Board just to like talk shit about Idaho.
By the way, we could sell at the Beagle. What's it called? Yeah.
Oh, the Beagle Hotel.
The Beagle Hotel. There's
That's
a hotel shaped like a
redeeming
beagle.
factor of Idaho.
Yeah.
Well, once again, this episode and podcast is sponsored by the Wyoming Tourism Board.
Wyoming. We're not Idaho.
All right. I had a good debate topic. Are y'all ready to talk some It?
Let's do it.
You want to talk about
Let's
It?
do it.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do it. Let's talk about It.
Yeah.
Are you up for It?
Okay.
Thank goodness we watched this movie so we could stop making those jokes.
Yeah.
This week's extra movie of the week is It.
It's not like any town I've ever been in before. People die or disappear 6 times the national average. And that's just grown-ups. Kids are worse. Way worse.
We all float down here.
I saw something. There was this
Clown. Yeah, I saw him too.
look. It's all connected by the sewers. That's where it lives.
Bill, if you'll come with me, you'll float too. You'll float too. You'll float too. You'll float too. You'll float too.
So we just got back from watching the latest adaptation of It. And I mean, if you don't know what this movie's about, first off, it is about a clown named Pennywise.
I mean, the title isn't exactly
it doesn't really
giving it
super
away.
helpful. But I mean, it's pretty infamous, right? If you have any sort of fear of clowns, it likely came from this. Second runner up would probably be Poltergeist, that fucking clown doll.
Yeah. Killer Clowns from Outer
I'm
Space.
basing that on my brother and sister who are like horrified of clowns. My brother has literally sent me a text message 8 times, says, well, I'm not fucking seeing that.
And I can even imagine that that's a fear that has now carried through generations, like where parents are like people are inheriting that fear of clowns from their parents from having watched that movie originally. Because I saw it for the first time, original It, 2 weeks ago, and fuck that. Like that movie's old as dick. The special effects are certainly dated, and it's still like, fuck no. That's some fucked up shit. And I'm an old ass human being.
And this is our second in a row King one, and like this, he did the same thing basically with corn in Children of the Corn. So cornfields by yourself ruined, clowns ruined. So I mean, he's
I guess that's why I drove through Nebraska and was not afraid of it because I haven't watched Children of the Corn.
Well, I love that he came out in print and said, look, people have had fear of clowns forever. Don't shoot the messenger here. That's just,
don't shoot the messenger.
That's just
there's actually a group of clowns that were like protesting outside of some of these like showings because like, dude, we're not.
They're gonna get fucking shot one of these days.
Oh,
yeah. If you put a clown in front of me tonight, and I carry a gun, that motherfucker's getting shot. Fuck that.
Clowns aren't protesting out in Texas. I'll tell you that much. They're staying indoors.
California, maybe.
So this movie is about a clown, Pennywise again, who is trying to lure children away. And so all these kids are going missing, and it's up to these 5, 6-ish.
The losers.
Little adolescents. The losers.
7.
I can't count. Okay. It may be. I mean, I don't count the girl.
Stats tracker list over here.
No, they reference like the 7 in the original one all the time. That's how they refer to it.
Yeah, true. No, you're right.
Very Lord of the Rings.
Fact checker list.
That's there you go. So, Nate, I know you have a few.
Yeah, sure.
Trivia. We'll go through them kind of quickly.
All right, so It came out in 2017. So the movie was 2 hours and 15 minutes long, but I didn't think it seemed that long. It went by pretty quickly, but I mean, there's definitely some heft to this movie. Normally, horror movies get in and out in about 90 minutes, and even then they can feel long. But this one had a lot more development, which was good.
Yeah.
Currently, it's at 8.4. I know it's really early, but on IMDb, it's 8.4, and on Rotten, it's 89%. So, like, huge critical reception for this.
Yep.
The tagline is "You'll Float Too," which they mention in the movie numerous times. And as we've mentioned, it's the remake of 1990's It. If you guys noticed in the clown room, which they show a little bit in the trailer, there was a Tim Curry Pennywise.
Yep.
In the left side of the room, which was a nice little homage. I like that. The budget for the movie was $35 million, and they're estimating in the first week it'll make like $80 million. So it's gonna do real well. The director Andy Muschietti is Argentine. He's one of the many Argentine people with a nice Italian last name. This is his second movie. I don't know if you guys ever saw Mama.
Yeah,
which is a great horror film from 2013. And so, this is his like second kind of horror film after that. And then right after this, he's going to direct Hulu's Lock and Key TV show for next year, which is by Stephen King's son. So he's got a nice King family line.
They're locking him down. All right.
Yep. And he's in talks. I don't know if you guys are big Shadow of the Colossus fans from the PS2, but he's in talks to direct a movie based on that video game, which is awesome.
Because video game movies always do so well.
Have you ever had a successful one?
There's been a couple.
Silent Hill was okay in terms of. I mean,
Resident Evil has done pretty well.
Resident Evil franchise.
Yeah. Resident Evil has made a lot of movies.
The first one.
That's a true statement.
Hey, but there's only one Super Mario Brothers.
That's true.
And it was fantastic.
And it ruined every one of their. Have you seen Dennis Hopper lately? No one has. He's probably floating down in the sewer.
Wait, what's it?
He is dead. So that's
John Leguizamo was Luigi. Was that it?
Yes.
And who was Mario?
Bob Haskins.
Who the fuck is that?
That's fucking Smee from Hook.
Yeah.
He's
matter.
foreign.
It doesn't matter.
I've seen Hook. I still don't know who the fuck.
No one knows who Bob Haskins is. No one knows this. It doesn't
Okay,
matter
can you
what-
please just answer? No one knows who the fuck that is.
I know who he is.
No one knows
It's
who that
me,
is.
goddammit.
No one knows who
All
that
right, so
hold on. I got things. All right. So the actor who plays Pennywise is Bill Skarsgård. He, he's been in Atomic Blonde this year. He's in Hemlock Grove, which is not a great show, but it's a horror show on Netflix. And he's actually in an upcoming show called Castle Rock, which is a Stephen King based universe TV show that has a bunch of different Stephen King characters in it. So they mentioned like Pennywise, they mentioned like Danny from Shining, they mentioned all kinds of shows. So this guy's like in like all of the King things.
Well, mind you, Stephen King, even like for reference in The Dark Tower, there are a lot of references to his other books and characters.
And that's kind of what they're doing with, but it's called Castle Rock, and Castle Rock, of course, is a town in Maine. There you go.
Because he fucking loves Maine.
He's got to do the main thing.
Doesn't he live in Maine?
What's up?
Doesn't he live there?
That's where he's from.
Yeah. I think he's from there and lives there. And
my question to you guys was, how old? So Bill Skarsgård is the guy who plays Pennywise. How old do you think he is?
He's going to be like grossly young, like 25 years old.
That's my question. All right, so David says 25.
I know the year he was born, so.
Oh,
but
if you already know it, then that's
I know
All right, Mitch. All right, so David said 25. Mitch, what do you think? How old is Bill Skarsgård?
I'm gonna say 22.
22. Holy shit! All right,
27.
27. Liz,
ding ding ding.
27 is correct.
Nice.
He was
can't-
born the year the original came out.
Yes.
Oh,
yeah, because it's
nice.
every 27 years.
And this movie came out 27 years after the original.
Yeah.
That's creepy.
Yeah, so
is that on purpose?
Some
He
people
actually
think
wasn't
it
the
might,
original
but-
actor, so.
So he was the fourth person to want to play him. No worries. Great segues here. Initially, they asked Tim Curry to do it again.
Fuck me. That would have been terrifying.
This movie was in development for 7 years before it started filming again. So this is about 9-ish years ago is when they were trying to make this again.
So the kids who were in this were babies or not even born when they started.
Oh, yeah, none of these kids were born in 1990. Oh, when they started? Oh, yeah, they were like...
No, when they started trying to
they were
do
like...
the remake.
They were four or something. Yeah, it was great.
Early screen test.
So the other actor, Richie, so Finn Wolfhard, who's from Stranger Things, which is super obvious. He's super memorable from that.
He's weird looking.
Yeah. Well, and he's cool though. And he's going to be
amazing too.
He's going to be in the Carmen San Diego Netflix show in 2019.
Really,
he's as the player, which is going to be awesome. And that's a good segue because one of the people, or the people that they were thinking about maybe directing this movie, because it's been was developed for so long, they went through a lot of potential people. And the Duffer Brothers, who ended up doing Stranger Things, were rejected to direct this movie. So instead of that, they went to Netflix with Stranger Things.
It all worked out.
There we go.
Accident.
Yeah. So that worked out for them. But yeah, they were in talks to direct that as well. So this took place 27 years after the original miniseries, which is awesome for the story. And the last two people that were going to be Pennywise were Skarsgård and Hugo Weaving. Those were the final two. So I think they made
they did.
They made a great choice.
I'm gonna Google right on my phone.
Yep.
Hugo Weaving is because I know who
he's.
He is,
Lord Elrond.
Lord of the Rings.
Lord Elrond.
Yeah.
And Agent Smith in The
I was
Matrix.
saying,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Got it.
So you're good.
We
And
all
then
float here,
I don't know if you guys
Mr.
caught this, but
Anderson.
I looked and saw this. John Oliver was an extra in this movie.
What?
He's a huge It fan,
Where?
and I saw it. I think it was in the diner, one of the diner scenes,
One of the diner scenes?
or in the.
I
was it
bet,
in the diner?
I bet
think
he
so.
mentioned
What
it
diner?
in the show.
There was a diner scene?
I think there
what
was
are
a
you
diner at
talking
one
about?
point.
Did we all fall asleep for a minute? What diner?
What the fuck diner scene are you
Was it a
talking
diner, or
about?
was it like inside another building? It was inside a building. He was there.
Okay, we just
thought I
went
said-
from diner to inside of a building to like on Earth.
I thought it was a diner.
Well,
Shit.
anywhere could be a diner with the right attitude
Hey,
and imagination.
anywhere's
Anywhere's a diner if you try hard and believe in yourself.
anywhere is better than being inside your mom. Anyway, just kidding. And that's it. But and the movie was filmed mainly in Toronto and surrounding areas, and some in Bangor, Maine. So they got the Maine action in there as well.
It would be fucking Maine.
Yep.
It was supposed
I
to be
know.
Maine.
Yeah, it's Maine.
Maine is the spookiest state.
We're going to Maine in a month.
We are.
Yeah.
Maine is probably like, Steven, can you just stop with our state, please?
No way.
Not
They're like,
that terrifying.
no way. They're like, if anything, this is the most.
I was gonna say, the
publicity
only
Maine
thing
has
anyone
ever
talks
got.
about
Yeah.
Maine for.
Tell me something else from Maine.
Yeah.
You have 5 seconds.
Absolutely
Something else
nothing.
important
No.
from Maine.
Lobsters.
Absolutely nothing.
Lobsters.
There are lobsters.
That's it.
They
Other
have
than that,
the national toboggan races. So
the national toboggan. That was the next thing I was going to come up with.
Nice.
That's weird. Wow.
I
That's
saw
great.
it.
One more
Shocking.
thing. Who can name one more?
Their governor is insane.
shocked.
Is that just a random guess or
No, that's literally
Okay,
true.
all right.
Yeah, that's true.
I could just get. Hey, the Wyoming governor is probably fucking crazy too.
Yeah, he seems reasonable.
Hey, Jab said Wyoming now.
States that we've made fun of. Maine, you've just made the
No,
list.
wait. I was like, man, it's great. What are you talking about? Well, yeah, that's all I had. That's all I had for that movie. Yep.
Yeah. So, I think overall impressions. What did you think, just off the bat? Let's start with you as our new guest.
I'm normally pretty skeptical about like remakes or kind of going off of an older movie, and I think they did awesome. I thought it was really good.
Yeah, that shit was well done.
They also like nicely referenced the movie. Like it wasn't like, ooh, we're talking about the movie that happened before, but there were still references to it throughout. Like nicely done.
Yeah, and I think a lot of, and again, we watched the original It like 2 weeks ago during the hurricane, and I think a lot of the things that became dated about the original It, they addressed very well in this one, because the original one felt a little bit, obviously it's older now, but it felt a little bit hokey sometimes. Like there were some details about it that didn't really quite feel right, and in this one they just kind of nailed the character building, the sort of story, how things are coming together. It all feels more cohesive.
Yeah.
And fucking Pennywise is terrifying.
Yeah.
Well, and something I had to tell myself going into this, because I do enjoy the original. I love it. It's been years since I've seen it, but it's a totally different time.
Wait, it's been years since you've seen it?
Not quite 27, but it has been years
kidding,
since I've seen it. Well, shit.
I threw you off.
Way to go, Nate.
Oh.
It was made at a different time, and again, it was on basic cable as a TV miniseries.
Yeah, it didn't have
This
the
is like,
resources that this
we have
had.
full R, and I think where we are with horror movies is a little bit different now too. The blood pack thing doesn't happen in there because of the AIDS scare at the time, right? They don't want to show any of that on TV. Now, really, the only real taboo in movies is kids getting killed. And so I think
they don't have a problem with that.
They did not have. They pushed that a little bit. Which you usually don't see. You usually don't see that graphic. That first Georgie scene, which we'll get to, was intense.
Well, and I will say again, having watched it for the first time 2 weeks ago, it was fucking good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
like when you recognize, hey, this was done a while ago. It is a really good movie. It has a couple of things that you're like, hey, with today's technology, this would have looked different.
Mm-hmm.
And
guy going into the pipe. That was like my legs are going into a pipe.
Yeah, like, you know, some of those things just, it was like, oh, spooky transition, which again, they, you know, having the budget and having the ability to just make it look better now they did. But again, I think the original is really, really, really good. This one just adds that extra layer of making it legitimately scary for this day and age. Like, I know I'm not alone that there were multiple parts during the movie where you were bracing yourself like, oh shit, something's gonna fucking happen. Fuck me. And then you well,
it was like the jittery running was really the main thing, because it's like right at the camera every time.
Terrible technique for a marathon, but man, for sprinting. Woo.
Yeah. But there were some nice touches with the balloons too. Like there's a scene where the balloon comes right up to the I forget which character it was, but the balloon comes right up to his face, and then you know that Pennywise is behind the balloon. Like you know he's there, and still the second that balloon pops, you're like, fuck me. Like that still got me, and I knew it was going to be there. Yeah. So
you know, it had some meat behind the jump scare, because a lot of times things just pop out. But I agree with you. It was like there was still something there.
Yeah, all these people are getting picked off one by one. A lot of buildup. Yeah.
But it just his look. I mean, he'd be just standing there after the jump, but you know, it was still coming, right? Yeah. So at least I want to ask you. So you, I think, are the only one at the table that did not see the original.
Yeah.
So coming off fresh, what did you think of this?
Oh my God, this was terrifying. It was really, really well done. And I really want to go back and watch the original, because I don't know, you guys can tell me. In the original, did they do the separate fears? Like, was he actually shapeshifted? Yep. Okay, so they did that too.
They did, and they were weirder.
Yeah, and a much worse.
Okay. Wow, like it was bad.
Okay.
Some of them, like the one with Seth Green, was terrible.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, what I will say,
and Seth Green was terrible.
Yeah.
No offense to Seth Green.
The other thing that I thought was interesting is in the original, you have this sort of non-linear plot in terms of going back to their adult lives and tying it back sort of to what was the past. You know, the entire plot line of this newer version is the past of the original version. I like that element of the original, that there is this sort of, you know, in the future, they're now being forced to come back to deal with this issue again.
Well, apparently you'll get it again.
Right. So there's apparently a chapter 2 of this thing, which we'll touch on that. But it was a nice touch in terms of, like, there's some pretty, like, holy shit scenes in the original one, and I don't want to root for Lisa, but, you know, there's some shit that goes down with the adult crowd that's pretty heavy, even outside of the world of horror. It's just, you know, it's a heavy part of the plot.
Yeah.
Now, having said that, I think they did nail down a lot better the sort of, you know, the children fears in this one.
Yeah.
Like the one comment I made to Liz was like, I was not comfortable with the creepy, rapey vibe from the, you know, pharmacist and the dad of the female
Dad
lead.
was rapey in the original, but not like full blown. Like he's certainly raping her.
And the original one, he was more like God fearing, a little bit rapey. And this one, it was like really rapey.
The original story, which is written by, what's the guy's name who did True Detective? Carrie. I can't actually say that guy's last name correctly.
Can't remember.
There was a rape. They were like, the dad does rape and like whatever, and they toned it down a tiny bit to miss the NC-17 rating.
Yeah.
But they were trying to lean into it even more in this.
And I think that's a part that, because in the first one it's a little bit more subtle, that they're focusing on this world in which children fears are the main part of the plot, right? Is that children are afraid of things, and that's what's fueling this thing. The other touch is the part that adults are completely unaware and unconcerned with it. And I think that's a part that gets exacerbated in this one.
These adults were nowhere.
Exactly.
Other than to be terrible. There was no positive adulting occurring from anybody. I don't think there was not once.
Yeah, not a single adult.
Oh, a policeman. He'll be the good guy always shooting at a child. Let's go. Wait, what's happening?
He's permanently emotionally scarring a child.
Exactly.
Awesome.
Well, then he got
scarred later. The one kid who was taking the placebos, I mean,
No. His mom sucks.
Well, no, but she was the only one who was actually like, trying to keep him away. Like,
Nah, it was very
not
unhealthy.
for good
and terrible.
reason.
no, I'm not saying
Okay.
that was healthy in any way, but she was
Well,
the only one of the whole
She,
ones that's
she
like,
didn't want her child
something out
actively
there is
murdered.
going to kill you. I'm
She
going to do
was
whatever I
taking
need
care
to
of
keep
her
you
child,
here.
yeah. I agree.
Yeah, but
I see what you're
by keeping him by himself,
I don't agree
she
with
was,
the way she did it.
She was killing him by keeping him
She
by
was the
himself.
only
Right, but
one who
that
seemed to know something
But that
bad was going to happen.
that becomes the undertone, right? That like it's almost like children are afraid of all these things, and some of them are very legitimate, and adults still don't fucking listen to any of it, including things like
Yeah.
rape and including things like
I will tell you, though,
helicopter parents and
Or
shit.
kids carving into other kids with knives.
Well, in the original one too, I feel like the rape wasn't as prevalent, but they were actually more actively not giving a shit about like the bullies and the blatant racism and.
Well, and yeah, there is more of them like seeing the impact of things happening, and adults just going like,
oh,
"Oh,
fuck that, don't
hush,
care."
it's all fine." Like one of the first scenes in the movie, like the main character, Bill, is that his name? I'm bad with him. Bill walks into George's room and looks through his like picture book, and he comes alive and he starts doing shit. And his parents come in the room. This kid's freaking out, and the parents are like, "Oh yeah, whatever. Just don't come in this room anymore."
Yeah.
It's
Just don't take my sewer drawings. All right.
Well, and like there's a scene too where the punk ass kids are trying to assault the girl, and there's like an old man walking, and he like looks and then turns around in the original too.
Right, which was a much more explicit nod to there's a problem here, and part of the problem is that adults are not involved in all of the fears that are like.
Yeah.
Well, what I took away from this one, the only adults that are there are really meant to show. You have kids that are just afraid of just the dark. They're afraid of creepy pictures.
Other
afraid
kids,
of stuff.
yeah.
But the adults really serve the purpose of these are the fears that I'm instilling in these kids. I'm being the overprotective mother. He's terrified of any sort of germs, any sort of anything. The one bully who's terrified of his dad basically beating the shit out of him, and then the girl who's afraid of her dad basically, and these old lecherous. In a post Game of Thrones world, I'm still not down with incest. Is still not,
Well, at least that incest is consent driven, not this one for sure.
Not often that you hear sentences like, "At least that incest is consensual."
Hey, you know what? Whatever.
Okay, so let's talk about the kids in this movie.
Yeah.
And there are seven, as I have been reminded.
Well, there's more than 7 kids in this movie.
Well,
There's like 100 kids.
the ones that don't get, they don't go missing, / have their arm fucking ripped off.
No, there's still like 2 more bullies that are.
There's
just,
more bullies.
bully
There's
fodder.
some side kids.
And that's that mean bitch.
There's that mean chick from the pharmacy. Yeah.
That was her whole point was just to be a mean bitch. It was kind of like, all right,
Mean bitch number 1.
Yeah.
yeah.
There was like 3 mean bitches.
So let me ask you this, because there's so many characters and we only have so much time to go through so much of this movie. Give me the character you were rooting for the most.
Oh God, David was obvious with his volume of laughter in that.
Well, David, go ahead. Who was it?
You're Richie.
And I was rooting for them. No, the one that I enjoyed the most was Finn's character.
Yeah, Richie. Yeah.
Richie. Like the kid was hilarious, and I told Liz, and you could tell men were laughing more than women because they nailed down teenage male humor.
Oh yeah,
from that time frame.
From that time
You
frame,
coulda
like
just taken
everything's
out the
about
word
your
teenage.
mom. Like all of the mom jokes were like, I made that joke at some point in time.
Yeah.
That was so well done.
And very proud of myself too.
Yeah, the writers crushed that character. They clearly were like, we need a conduit. And there was a lot of more comedy in this than you would have thought. Not even just from him. In general, there was a lot of comedic
I wonder if someone was just
scenes.
like, yeah, we need to lighten this
Cut
the
this
fuck
a little
up.
bit. Yeah.
Well, but if you in the original, you have Seth Green plays that character.
And he was awful.
And he was awful because he's like this very forced punchline
The worst
driven
character in the original
character
movie.
that's
Well,
really
it wasn't.
not that
I
funny.
mean, it was the writer's fault, right? It wasn't his fault.
No, fuck Seth Green too.
But the way the character was written was very
He didn't get good until Can't Hardly Wait. Then the comedic
That was
timing.
amazing.
Then the
Yeah,
comedic
that was
timing.
really good,
Well,
yeah.
He needed goggles on. That was the problem with the first It movie.
I fucking love that movie.
It was
I've
great.
watched that movie so many times in my life.
Yep.
It's up.
So short into the story, Richie.
Yeah.
No,
Richie.
Rich is the one I laughed at the most. I have to say the one I was rooting for the most was little germaphobe dude.
Oh, he was
Oh,
good too.
germaphobe guy.
Yeah.
What is germaphobe character's name? Who knows? Germaphobe guy.
Eddie, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
I was rooting for him the most because he's like he's trying to overcome all of his overprotective fucking mom's like hangups,
Yeah.
and trying to do some shit, but he's still. I was that kid as a kid, not the overprotective mom, but they're like, hey guys, this is a fucking bad idea.
He's still that kid.
Yeah, I'm still that guy. I'm like,
staph infections.
Yeah, like you guys are walking into shit water. You're gonna die of AIDS, herpes, and
he got hurt the most legitimately of any of the people.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the fat kid got pretty fucked up a few times.
He broke his arm.
He got sliced in the gut.
Yeah, but he had a fatty layer to protect himself from the cut.
Yeah, that's the strategy. Saved his life.
All right, Lisa, who are you rooting for in this one?
I don't know if I'm rooting for one over the other. I was rooting for them all as a group. Yeah, and
That is a bullshit cop-out answer, not acceptable.
Every time one of those dumbasses wandered away, I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? What about stay together is hard to understand.
Well,
Stay together.
Your worst fears are coming at you. It's kind of.
That's why you stay together, Nate. You know, to wander off and then go, guys. That's not good.
No. And that's one part. That's one part they figured in the original relatively quickly was when they go down like the second time, they like lock arms and they just go like, "No, we're saying the fuck together."
Yeah. I don't want to say that Pennywise stole saying the kid's name to lure them away from Tourist Trap or anything, but he stole it from Tourist Trap.
Shut the fuck up with Tourist Trap.
My pick is I liked Ben. The fat kid.
I agree with you on that one. That was who I was going to
He was by far the most knowledgeable of the group.
Which he shouldn't have been.
By the way,
they stole that from
he was the new
original.
kid. He was studying.
No. That's some racist ass shit.
Yeah,
Let's call it out for what it is. Original version of the movie. Black kid is the one that has all the answers, did all the research, knows all the dates, knows the history of the whole town.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, black kid doesn't know the whole thing. Little fat kid does. What happened there?
I don't know.
I
Your
don't know
ass
either.
just got called out.
Just rewriting history.
He's like judging Nate for choosing this now.
I like
I'm
that
just
guy.
saying.
Look, he
you
knows.
like him because he knows some shit.
He's a poet.
He was a poet in the
He's a
original.
poet. He's a nice guy.
He's going to be John Ritter.
He's
He becomes John Ritter.
He's clearly like in real life going to be the most successful of the entire group.
An architect.
Yeah, for sure. So I mean, well, I know, but from this movie, you can just see that he is the most knowledgeable and will be good. So I liked him. Plus, he was kind of a sweetheart, and he took a lot of damage and did not complain ever.
That's true. That's true.
He got someone's initial carved in.
Yeah, he was a tank. And we got slashed
That's the
multiple
first
times.
part.
He got slashed by Pennywise then later. I mean, he's all over the place. Yeah, he's awesome.
Yeah, the only sad thing about him is he's not the one that got to kick the bully down the well. Because that would have been a nice, fuck
that's
you.
true.
But
Well, they couldn't take everything away from Mike.
Yeah,
no,
that's true.
Mike did a fantastic job. The second that he kicked his ass, I was like, damn.
Not only
Mike
is poor
recovered-
Mike getting his ass kicked, but he's having his ass kicked while he's looking at Pennywise wave a kid's arm, a mangled up kid's arm that he's eating at him. Like,
Mike did pretty well to take a direct pipe to the back, and then be totally fine. Be totally fine to climb. And
also the
kills
fact that
guy.
he went like, "Hey, I'm gonna go get this pneumatic gun that used to keep
he
the
had the
handle, and
best
I'm gonna
plan
bring
there.
it to the shit." Like,
He was the only one that came armed. I was like, finally someone's thinking.
well, no, some of the other kids had the little steel things, but
they
he's
grabbed
the only
it
one that
there.
went like, "No, I'm gonna go out of my way to
had-
get something good for
Yeah.
he had to protect his friendos, so it was all good. No Country for Old Men. Nobody.
Liz, what about you?
Friendos.
So,
this." Okay, I didn't get the
This is
reference,
the
even though I watched the movie.
but I'm going to go with Beverly only because in the first movie, I actually really disliked her. She was worthless. She had a weird relationship with all the boys where, even as adults, they, hugged on her too much. Like, she kissed Bill in the first scene, even though he was married, and it wasn't it was like a, hi, welcome to see you kiss. And now she actually, asserted herself and took care of shit and
Well, I mean,
wasn't pathetic.
not to defend a fictional character, but she had a lot of rape from a parent happen. To
Right,
her.
and
No, her actions in another movie.
I give her a free pass. I give her a free pass.
I don't
some
give
of that
her.
stuff.
Well, I actually blame the whole you're with me here. The whole relationship with the boys and her in the first one was weird. She let all of them hug on her, and it was all too close and strange and not realistic. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that. It went throughout, so it felt weird. And it's difficult to put your finger on it, but in this one, it's a lot more like.
It'd be like if I walked in and just sat on Nate's lap, hey.
So
Yeah,
Fridays.
that's strange.
I have no comment. No comment.
It would only be strange because that's my job. I sit over there, and then where would I sit during this?
Oh, she's warming it up for you.
But in this movie, she still clearly had issues, but she handled her shit. She knew it was up better than anyone else.
So so best scene in this movie to you, and then we'll move into our the end stuff, our little awards and everything. Lisa, do you have was there something? What about this was the best part of the movie for you?
The best or the most terrifying?
Either, both.
Man, I don't know.
What's gonna stick with you after this movie?
So the one scene, I could pretty much handle everything. Mm-hmm. I didn't look away on anything. The one thing that I had to look away on is when, is it Ben?
Yeah.
Was following the Easter eggs and the headless kid
the basement
was like doing that jerky walk towards him and just kept going. I couldn't, that got to me. I couldn't watch that. And I know at the end, like there's that, change and he becomes Pennywise, but yeah, that was terrifying.
Nice. Nate, how about you?
Best scene. Yeah, man. I don't know. Can you come back to me? Pass. I'm gonna phone a friend for a second. And then
Liz, how about you?
I don't know. I do think I like the opening because in the first one, when you see Georgie go, like you don't see Georgie go, and I think that made it like, oh fuck, this is really happening in this one because
I think they knew they had to up the ante.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So.
That's true. That was a great scene.
But it's not even just upping the ante. To your point, like in the original one, it's like they talk about how Pennywise like eats kids or like they found a kid without an arm, but you never actually see it. And in this one, it becomes from the get go, like he's fucking literally ripping kids' arms.
There's multiple child arms in this movie. They're not skimping on the arm.
And I'd say
budget.
on the flip of that too, the very end I appreciated a lot because I think one of the things that was like the most like 90s and awful about the other one was the end. And what actually he becomes. That spider bullshit thing that no one was afraid of anymore. So the fact that they
Tim Curry's most hated part of the original movie.
So the part that they ruthlessly beat the shit out of him and then he like creeps back into that hole, I think is much more terrifying than a spider with lights on its stomach.
Yeah.
Now, I will say in the opening, what I really appreciated is that Pennywise rips a kid's arm off and drags him into a sewer, and there's a cat staring at this whole thing, and the cat's just like,
whatever.
Fucking kids go.
I'm out in the rain. Boom.
Like our dogs will literally bark at cartoon dogs on the TV. Like I'd like to believe that if our beagle saw someone getting dragged to a sewer, she'd be like, "Peru, fuck you guys."
Yeah, but the problem is that they've barked so many times before that you would think, oh, it's nothing, and then see.
Yeah, but it would at least distract people. At least Georgie would go like, "Oh shit, that beagle's Peruing. Maybe I should get the fuck away."
That's true.
Danger.
The international sign of danger.
So my scene is the clown room.
The clown room?
The clown room.
Because it's
Richie,
like tourist trap.
Right?
It is the closest thing to tourist trap that happened in this movie. But no, there was clowns. They were all covered very housebound-esque with sheets, right? And then all the sheets come down, all variety of clowns. The clowns are moving. He sees himself in a coffin as a mannequin, basically, with worms coming out of him, and then he gets chased by Pennywise. It was pretty golden, and that's where the Tim Curry Pennywise clown was also. Yeah. That was pretty solid. Yeah.
I don't have a great answer, but actually one of the final scenes when Bill actually goes and uses the cattle prod killing thing on Georgie.
That was
that's a pretty good scene because you see it coming, like you know he's gonna have to do it, but it's well done.
Well, they handle it pretty well, and you do wonder was that Georgie? Was it they do
like you're thinking about it and you're hoping that he got it right, but it's
he didn't get all
they let it sit for a second. You're like, oh shit, I don't remember this.
Right?
Yeah, because you're in the area of where the kids are floating. Oh, maybe they weren't dead. Maybe they were just getting stored or whatever. No, I mean, he goes right for the face.
And mind you, I will add actually that was probably my favorite scene. Now that I think about it, is when they first focus up and you see all the kids floating.
Yeah,
that was a nice touch.
That was a cool scene.
Yeah.
For me, I think it was the scene that struck me. The opening scene's a great answer. The only thing I think that trumped that to me was when he sees Georgie in the basement. And then it's because you see in the trailer, but then again they kind of up the ante because he becomes the puppet. He's fading away, and then it's Basically, Pennywise is holding him up like a puppet. And it's like, holy shit.
And then he throws him. Just
when he
just
like drags him down, it's like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And that child was the most adorable fucking kid in the whole world.
Oh, yeah.
He was so cute.
Well, until he said you'll float 2 8,000 times. Then it's like, oh, shit.
No, he was still cute.
Even during the you'll float 2 like the 8th time?
He was fucking cute.
Wow.
That was an adorable child.
When you get that side look, I'm like, oh, fuck this kid. I'm out. Dude, that side look, that was so evil.
Yeah.
It just makes me wonder because, you read a lot about the child actors in the horror movies, and like The Exorcist, they would film the scene so that the kid actor wouldn't see a lot of the shit going on. But this one, I don't know how they would avoid a lot of that.
They said the kids were like fucking terrified of the actor originally.
I'm sure.
I was reading a line that they had to, like, they warned them, like, hey, by the way, the dude that plays Pennywise that you've met in real life and is a very nice, normal-looking human being, he's going to be pretty fucking terrifying when he's full done up in makeup. And they were like, yeah, we totally get it. And then, like, he actually came up in makeup and, like, some of them started crying. They were like, what the fuck?
Plus, he's like 6'4", so he's like ginormous too. Yeah. And these kids are like obviously like 13 or 12.
And Swedish, so that's pretty good.
Yeah. Well, that's the Swedes are nice people. I don't know that they're overly terrifying, but
the Swedes.
The Swedes. All right. So let me ask you, with the little time we have left, what all would you do differently?
There are certain rules that one must abide by in order to successfully survive a horror movie.
Liz, you are anyone in this movie. Could be Pennywise, can be an adult, can be the kids.
Could be someone not even in the movie who impacted the movie in any way. Like,
what do you do differently?
I would be the president and drop a nuke on Maine. You could be anybody. It doesn't matter.
Honestly, I think the whole group of kids should have really fucked up the creepy kid when he was on the ground by himself. I know that doesn't sound...
Wait, what?
I know that doesn't
love it because
after,
I thought
after
that
the
too.
rock fight.
It doesn't solve the Pennywise problem, but fuck that kid.
It solves another problem.
That was the original reaction in the original one when the same thing happens. So we're like, go fuck him up.
Yeah, finish the job.
Beat the fuck
Apparently,
out of him with
the
a rock.
adults
Kick his ass, Seabass.
Yeah.
He still had a scar, like, a while later. So, I mean, they hit him in the face with a rock pretty much.
No.
In both versions of the movie, that kid ends up coming back and fucking some shit up.
that dude is awful.
He's bad news.
Should have taken care of it.
Nope. That's...
Wow. Fight bullying with more violence.
I think that's her way of saying, look, you're fucked anyway. There's nothing you're going to do. But you can at least take care of this thing. This is what we call the realm of control. And that little fucker's in my realm of control. Creepy-ass clown that shapeshifts into my nightmares can't do a lot about that.
Yeah. The rock circle of control.
It's a
clown that preys on your fears can't do a lot about that. Bully, fucking kill him.
David, what do you do differently in this movie?
What was the first movie that we talked about? I already forgot the name of it. The first podcast.
The Void?
The Void.
Oh,
so I have the same sort of attitude towards this one. If you are a kid in the movie, you really don't have a lot of ways of predicting the shit that's going to happen. Like, yeah, in retrospect, you can go like, I understand now that it's feeding off my fear, so I shouldn't be afraid of him. And maybe be better armed and be less of a pussy, but like you can't know
less of a pussy than like 12 or 13.
You're
that's
David
tough.
is still a pussy.
That's pretty tough.
You're fucking 12. You're afraid of shit. Like
you can know if you do your research.
Yeah, boom.
Your local library has all the information you need.
The more you know.
All the explosions where kids' heads are in trees. You can go see them in the library.
David didn't have libraries where he's from.
Just bibliotecas.
That was the stupidest fucking joke.
So what would you do differently? I don't think you got to say nothing.
Honestly,
you can't see it
maybe
coming.
like the time that I go like, hey, let's all round up and go fuck this clown up. Take the lead from Mike that goes like, hey, I'm gonna go get this cattle gun.
Yeah.
And say like, oh, hey, we should go get some similar shit.
Apparently, guns and switchblades were readily available.
It's Maine. I'm sure you can go find a couple of rifles, a couple of shotguns without even trying that hard.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm assuming Maine is like Texas, right? Like you walk out into the country and just walk into a barn and there's a rifle somewhere.
Yep.
Yeah. Or a well. And then you just figure it out. Yeah.
Well, wells, as you learn from Annabelle, throwing things down a well doesn't really help you out that much.
Doesn't solve all your problems.
No. Lisa.
So you know that creepy house they go into?
Yeah.
Yeah, screw that. Burn it down. Light a match. That thing's nothing but wood. Just
But the
get
well
rid
is
of it.
still there.
Well, it already burned down.
Well, yeah, but then you
It
don't have
already
to
burned
go
down.
through the creepy maze of all the terrifying things. There's the well.
It didn't burn down. It just is burned. Otherwise, someone did a really shitty reconstruction job.
No, I'm just saying.
I personally did not like the house, by the way. That was not, I preferred it all in the sewer.
Not good architecture.
No, I just, it was actually lovely.
It was lovely. Okay.
Victorian, but I did not like the addition of the house. I thought that was a little bit.
I thought the trim was a little gauche. For me.
Yeah.
Nate.
Nouveau riche for me.
Easy F. Scott Fitzgerald.
Yeah.
Just calm your tits. All right.
What would I do differently? If I was Beverly, I would have gone for bed. Just go right. Go
You
right
could
for
have
bed.
taken out the "If I Was Beverly."
Well, go for Ben. Fine, doesn't matter any of the characters. Maybe
well,
the guy
original she does eventually.
Yeah, I'm talking about this movie right now. Okay,
I'm just
this movie.
saying. Hey, that was chapter
Teenage
1.
girls are
Chapter
bad
2
choices,
is
by
when
the
the
way.
decision is made.
I know. I'm just saying. In this movie, instead of
I
kissing
mean,
Bill at the end, I would be kissing
Who
Ben.
gets to Pound Town in 2?
Pound Town.
Also, the options in 2.
That's subtitle. It too. Pound Town.
It too. Pound Town, Maine.
Okay, the options in 2 are in the original are John Ritter and some gross dude with a ponytail. So.
Oh, the ponytail's awful. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and that's what's cool because I don't remember who everyone said, but they did an interview with all these kids, right? And they're all together, and they all picked the people that they want to play them in like the second round as the adults or whatever.
And
that
no
was
one
super
picked
cool.
John Ritter?
He's dead.
He's dead. John Ritter's son. John Ritter's son's around.
Georgie picked Tom Ritter.
Oh. John Ritter.
Holy shit. That was dark.
Mitch, you're up.
Yeah, no, for me, I mean, I'll go back to Georgie. Maybe just forget about the fucking little boat.
Yeah, but why would he care about the boat?
Why do you think Bill was going to kill him? He just ripped a piece of paper.
because his brother
he
helped
said
him
that
make
his
it.
brother was his best friend, and he had just made it specially for him.
Yeah.
Well,
It was a piece of paper.
I know.
It was the
It's a
SS.
whack.
It was the SS Georgie.
Yeah,
But
she was.
and that's
She
the thing.
was.
In the original, they actually set that up better because Bill makes a huge deal out of making that for him. Like he's really annoyed, and he's like, God damn it, I don't want to fucking make this for you. I'm sick. And even when like Georgie's really nice to him for making, he's like, oh, fucking gross. Like, get out of here.
Also, doesn't he have a walkie-talkie? Why didn't he just be like, hey,
There's a
Should I
creepy
trust this
fucking
clown?
there's a
Better.
clown down here fucking with
Worth
the
it.
boat.
Mitch, I don't know if you know about walkie-talkies from like the late 80s, but they last about like 3 feet. and then it's over.
In the late 80s, I didn't have any friends that have walkie-talkie.
Well,
stuff
yeah,
like
you know
that.
why? Because you couldn't have, because it wouldn't have gone that far.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't have been.
All right, so the awards, if you had to give an award to someone, who would it be? For me, I'm just going to say the Michael Jordan, you miss 100% of the shots you don't make, or don't take, excuse me,
Yeah.
goes to my man, Ben, over here,
Yeah.
who writes the poem, just says, fuck it, I'm kissing this comatose woman.
Yeah.
And True Love's kiss saves the day. I guess he's going to kiss all the fucking kids that were floating, but whatever, however you got to get these kids to wake up.
Yeah.
He's the man. I mean, he's getting sliced up everywhere. It just keeps trucking.
Yeah.
Ben is the man.
Ben's awesome. He's my favorite character. Yeah.
Nate, how about you?
I have the King's Speech Award for Bill because he takes a stutter and he turns it into leadership, and I
swag.
appreciate that, and some swag.
Mm-hmm.
Beverly was basically England in this movie, if it had to be a metaphor. And as a runner-up, I have the Yo Mama Award for Richie because the Yo Mama jokes were pretty spectacular.
Yeah.
So that was my runner-up.
Fantastic. Liz.
Okay, I don't have a clever name for my award because I'm not witty like that. But the kid that has the cast, the way that he turns that around, I was real impressed.
Yeah.
Turns a negative into a positive.
like that. It's on the bright side, Mr. Brightside.
They make lemonade.
Got rid of his
Guys make lemonade.
got rid of his gazebos, changed it from loser to lover. I know, I love it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's true. Yeah.
Lisa.
That same kid, man, he was great. Just because he was constantly looking out for everyone.
Double fanny packs.
In a very, right, go get my bifocals there and my fanny pack.
The Boy Scout Award.
Let me
2 fanny
patch up
packs.
my friend over here. So, yeah.
He knew not to try to suck out anything from the wound, which is solid.
Obvious.
What is like an 18th century like leech doctor? Like what was happening there? I don't even get that.
Sorry, that just totally gave me a flash. So again, I will give the award to like I'm gonna call it the hey guys, that's a bad idea award to Eddie. Again, I say that because I was that guy, but I also just had a total flashback to college and our common friend Nick Kent falling down drunk, gashing his head open against a bathtub while we were all very, very drunk. And then 2 or 3 of us getting all of the necessary things to A, shave his head so that we could then B, clean the wound.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And then C, keep an eye on him until we made sure he didn't have a massive concussion and wasn't bleeding inside his head.
Nick Kent is still alive.
There's
he is
such a
still alive and a
thing
successful human being.
called the emergency room.
Yeah, like
It's college.
doctors.
We were all drunk.
It's
We're not
college.
going
Who
to
has
sit
the
there.
money for that?
So the
It's called 911.
the aspiring doctor award.
Yeah.
Goes
That
to-
seems like a
and
bit
he got
much.
a doctorate. It's
seems like
not
a
a
bit-
useful one.
No, sorry, it's the do less harm award. Not no,
I'm just
just
saying.
less.
I can relate to that. Like,
Yeah.
hey, I have a buddy who's bleeding now, and I'm going to have to somehow fix that.
Yeah.
We'll see how this goes.
That's awesome.
Well, with that said, we go to our final segment.
Final cut.
Nate, where does this movie rank for you?
Sure. So I have a couple things I wrote down that I have to say before I give my rating. One of the only things I didn't like about Ben is that in the trailer, he said in Derry, adults are 6 times more likely to disappear than the national average. But he didn't give the number for how much more often the kids disappear. And I found that lack of specificity not to be in character for Ben.
Mm-hmm.
That's one downside against this movie is that he wasn't specific in that one region. Because you would think it's much, much more than 6. I mean, can you just come up with a number? Is it 40? Is it 50?
Well, maybe
That
it was
rubbed me the wrong way.
Maybe it was difficult to like tack down the, what's the significance of the number? Like,
Yeah, how
we
many
have a
sig
very
figs?
wide
How many sig
range.
figs we talking?
Well, and
Is that-
these parents care so much. I'm sure they keep great records of all their missing kids.
Yeah, it was like 6 times for adults and a lot for kids. That was in the news article. Maybe that's
Small sample, maybe the standard deviation makes it to where
Maybe
you don't
that's
really know
true.
what's going on.
I also have to point out that continuing with every horror movie we've done, the places of religiousness are worthless yet again because the skinny, weird-faced lady is all up in the synagogue where that kid is, and his dad is the rabbi, and yet, just like every horror movie ever, it does not matter. He gets totally tormented inside of the actual, But no, my rating for this movie, the comedy was surprisingly strong, and that bumps it up. The child actors were very good. The mixing up of the scenes was good. I thought there might be a little bit too much Pennywise, actually. He was kind of in the movie a lot. And normally they kind of keep there's bursts right of the villain, and then they pull it back to like build up the tension. But he was there a lot of screen time for a normal like villain. But I still liked it a lot. So I'm gonna give it 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10. Let's see.
He's setting a great example right
9 out of 10 dick measuring contests.
Nice.
There we go.
Well done. Lisa.
I'm gonna give it 8 out of 10. Jumps into what appeared to be a very shallow water.
Quarries.
Yes.
I think one section was deep and one section was shallow.
I
Hopefully,
don't know, but yeah, 8 out of 10. I can't give it any higher because I'm gonna have nightmares. It was really really well done.
Lisa's a hard critic based on the episodes I've watched.
I'm tough.
Yeah,
You remember
Tough
I don't
affair.
like this shit, so I'm
she
tough.
means business.
David.
It's been a long time since I've gone to the movies. And
It's been a
walked
long
out
time.
Very satisfied with the movie, so I'm gonna give it a 10 out of 10.
Whoa!
I will.
A reverse tourist trap, if you will.
I'm gonna give it 10 out of 10 mullets. Because I appreciated the mullet of the bullet. That was a good touch. It lets you know, he's trashy.
They went from greasers to mullets.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I'll give it a 10. It was well done. It didn't drag. Everything was on point. I mean, criticisms that I'm hearing here are very nitpicky. Like, oh, the villain has too much screen time. Like, yeah, in Tourist Trap, I fell asleep for half the fucking movie. Like
It's because he psychically wanted you to. See, that's how he gets you.
Yeah. So yeah, no, good amount of comedy, scary as fuck, well done, well edited. Pennywise is scary as shit. I'm gonna probably shoot a clown in the next 24 hours if anyone comes near me. You know, I'll give it a 10.
So you already bought tickets for chapter 2, right? You're in. You're all in.
I'm in for sure.
I can't watch something and not I have a completion ritual problem.
Yeah, which is a problem.
Yes.
We've watched some.
Oh my god,
shit.
we have there's things that we're never gonna stop watching Walking Dead, and it's awful.
Oh yeah.
So all right. So Liz, what do you give it?
Okay, so I'll go back to the scene Lisa's referencing because this actually took me shockingly by surprise. A 9 out of 10 teenage boys in tidy whities.
Nice.
But I thought it's really, really well done. I'm not going to give it a 10 out of 10 because I just feel like I don't know that I give anything a 10 out of 10. Sorry.
Fucking stingy ass bitches.
I am.
Hey.
I have standards.
Yeah, it's maybe like
you married me.
I think this is a movie that
I don't have standards with that.
This is David marriage 8 out of 10.
That's generous.
Oh wow.
8 out of 10 for me is like a 2 out of 10 for her.
Now I was gonna say like this. This movie is bound to be a classic. I think for sure, and I think it'll probably age pretty well and will be well regarded for a long time.
I think I'm even more impressed with it because it came from something like it was a remake. Of something.
It improved dramatically for me. Anyway,
Again, normally it's just
original.
really hard to accomplish that and not just suck terribly.
What about you, Mitch?
Yeah, for me, 9 out of 10 red balloons, and the reason I'm giving it such a high
9.9 red balloons.
9.9.
Yeah, right. Love balloons. No, this is a movie that, for me, horror movies, I'll watch it once and then I only watch it again if I'm about to do an episode on it. This, I would take time out of my free time to rewatch this movie.
Yeah.
And that's very rare for most horror movies, really any movie, not just horror movies.
Yeah, this is going to be a Blu-ray purchase for me, for sure. It's going to be good.
I don't know that I'd do that because why, but
Physical
I will stream it on Shudder or Netflix.
No, you get the
or whatever.
deleted scenes, you get the commentary, you get all that stuff. Come on.
That's what YouTube's for.
Yep.
Yep. Streaming is the future, Nate.
Although we do have a Blu-ray edition of Independence Day.
Yeah. Boom. Extended Bill Pullman speech. You're welcome.
It was a gift for David becoming American.
Wait, don't we also?
Wow. That is a shitty gift.
I will clarify. I did not.
I know you did.
I know when Bill
That was not
Pullman
mine.
gives that speech,
Wow.
I feel more American. So I think that's appropriate.
Yeah.
that was kind of the inside joke was that prior to me being an American, I actually couldn't truly enjoy Independence Day.
He couldn't support that win.
It wasn't my people who did it, so you can't really feel it.
Wait, what? Humanity wasn't saved by
It was
the
saved by
Chileans.
America.
By the Chileans.
It was not saved by the Chileans.
It's because the Chileans were just shooting mayonnaise into the air, trying to take down the spaceships. That's all they
No,
did.
it was mainly joke. Like South America would just have been dancing and getting drunk while the shit was going on.
Oh no,
Like, fuck it.
the aliens would like nick them, and then their whole country would flop over. Oh,
And on that note,
Wait, what? We're talking Argentina or
soccer.
Chile?
Oh shit! There we go.
Oh Lord. Well, all right. Well, that's gonna wrap it up for this extra episode for this week. Nate, where can they find us and float around with us?
If you guys want to float with us, this is post Harvey, so that's not a hurricane joke. You can.
Or an Irma joke, which is also really fucking bad right now.
You can, dang it. You can catch us on Twitter at TXPodMassacre and at our website, TexasPodcastMassacre.com. And yeah, let us know what you thought of the movie. Send us questions and we'll read them on the air next week.
Yep. David, Liz, thank y'all so much for joining. Liz, great to have you for the first time. David, always a pleasure.
you're
for
welcome
having
that we
me.
finally did.
He's doing
a
the
good
Queen's.
movie.
No one can see it, but he's doing the Queen's
for bringing
wave.
me finally for a really good movie.
Yep.
Thank you for making me watch 2 terrible movies that I didn't have to come talk about.
But think about this. How much better was this movie after watching Tourist Trap? You're welcome.
It still would have been better without that.
You see,
Yeah, I mean, life. I lost part of
Didn't
my
they
life.
give Tourist Trap like a 0?
yeah, for every 10 out of 10, we have to watch enough shitty movies that equal up to a 10 for you.
Well,
it's like a
then put
gauge.
Thanksgiving on the queue.
All right. Well, from all of us here at Texas Podcast Massacre, just keep telling yourself it's only a movie. Good night.